you for joining us for the dedication of the Daughters of the American Revolution War Patriots Marker. We're very thankful you are all able to join us today. My name is Kim Gleason, and I am the Vice Regent for the John Alden chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. I want to introduce Nancy Presco, the chaplain for the John Alden Daughters of the American Revolution, who will deliver our invocation. Please rise and remain standing through our national anthem.
Please pray in your faith as I pray in mine. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to gather, to pause, and reflect on our nation's past and all the blessings you have bestowed upon it. As we dedicate this Patriot Marker to commemorate our nation's 250th birthday next year, may we look ahead to the future we want to create for the next generation of Americans. We honor the contributions of those men and women who gave their lives and their fortunes to create this great nation, and we ask you to bless and inspire all who will see it. Amen.
Please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please welcome Gretchen Shope, who will be singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may now be seated. My name's Julia Lawless, and I'm the regent of the John Alden chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. I am honored to welcome you to this special dedication ceremony on behalf of the John Alden chapter. Today we gather in remembrance, gratitude, and celebration of the Revolutionary War patriots whose courage and sacrifice secured the freedom we cherish. I want to introduce our special guest this afternoon. We have Mrs. Dawn Brady, the Michigan State Regent of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Kelly Van Wormer, she's on the Michigan America 250 Commission. We have Dolores Porty with us. She's the Sanford Village President. Kim Burgess. She's the organizer of the Sanford flagpole monument. I can't see. The DAR Michigan State Executive Board members. We have several here today. If you guys want to stand up, I'd appreciate it. We have several chapter regents from across the state. Can you please rise? We also have several DAR Michigan State Committee Chair members. Can those members please rise? Thank you. Thank you for being here. As we commemorate the 250th anniversary of America, we are reminded that the story of our nation is one of resilience, unity, and unwavering determination. The men and women of the American Revolution faced extraordinary challenges, yet they stood firm in their belief in liberty and self-governance. Their sacrifices laid the foundation for the democracy we continue to uphold today. Our privilege and our duty are to honor these brave individuals, ensuring their contributions are never forgotten. The marker we dedicate today serves as a lasting tribute, a symbol of remembrance, and a reminder to future generations that freedom is never free. It is earned through courage, commitment, and sacrifice. We extend our most profound appreciation to all those who have contributed to making this dedication possible. To our distinguished guests, community members, and fellow patriots, thank you for joining us in this moment of reflection and gratitude. As we continue our program, let us hold in our hearts the memory of those who came before us and reaffirm our commitment to preserving their legacy they fought so hard to establish. For those of you who are unfamiliar with our organization, the Daughters of the American Revolution was founded in 1890 and headquartered in Washington, D.C. We are a volunteer women's service organization dedicated to promoting patriotism, preserving American history, and securing America's freedom through better education for children. As the most inclusive lineal society in the country, DAR boasts 165,000 members, 3,000 chapters across the United States and internationally, with 55 chapters here in Michigan. Our organization is always welcoming new members. It is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce a dedicated leader in the Daughters of the American Revolution, a woman whose passion for preserving history, honoring patriots, and serving our communities is truly inspiring. Dawn Brady serves as Michigan State Regent of the Daughters of the American Revolution, leading with a commitment to the DAR's mission of historic preservation, education, and patriotism. Through her leadership, the Michigan DAR continues to thrive, ensuring that the sacrifices of our Revolutionary War ancestors are remembered and that their legacy is carried forward to future generations. Her unwavering dedication to service, commitment to honoring our nation's history, and enthusiasm for strengthening the DAR make her an exceptional representative of our organization. Please join me in welcoming our esteemed Michigan State Regent, Dawn Brady.
Thank you, Madam Regent. Good afternoon. I am privileged to join you today and bring greetings on behalf of the DAR of Michigan. Since its founding in 1890, the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution has worked to ensure the stories of our nation's founding, the people, the places, and the principles are never lost to time. As we approach the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution, DAR chapters across the country are placing patriot memorial markers like this one to publicly honor the men and women whose aid and support made American independence possible. This plaque does not honor a battlefield or a famous name etched in textbooks. It honors something just as vital: those whose quiet contributions, acts of service, and sacrifices sustained the cause of liberty. These patriots may have provided supplies, lent funds, offered shelter, or served in civic capacities, but each gave something essential. They believed in the promise of a free nation, and they acted on that belief. The John Alden chapter, named for an earlier settler whose life helped shape colonial identity, reminds us how deep our roots go. While John Alden was not a revolutionary patriot, the chapter that bears his name carries forward the spirit of the founding of this country. The same spirit fueled those who supported the revolution decades later. With this marker, you are preserving history, educating the public, and inspiring patriotism, all three of DAR's founding objectives, by highlighting those who gave so much and asked for so little in return. May all who pass this marker pause, reflect, and remember the American story was and still is a collective effort.
Thank you, Madam State Regent. It's with great honor to welcome a dedicated leader who has played an integral role in the stewardship and growth of this community. Dolores Porteith, the village president of Sanford, has worked tirelessly to support and preserve the rich history of this town while leading with a vision for its future. Today, as we gather to dedicate this Revolutionary War Patriot marker in Sanford, we recognize that honoring our past is just as important as shaping our future. Under President Porteith's leadership, Sanford continues to be a place where history is valued, patriotism is honored, and community spirits thrive. We are grateful for her support in helping to make this dedication possible, and for her ongoing commitment to preserving the legacy of those who came before us. Please join me in welcoming Dolores Porteith, Village President of Sanford.
Hi, once again, I'm Dolores Porteith. I'm the president of the Village of Sanford Board. And I can say we're extremely honored for the John Alden chapter of Midland County to pick Sanford to put this commemorative marker. It shows the friendship, the relationships that we've made over the last 5 years, especially since the flood. And it weaves together the resiliency that we all share in having a community of people who work together for the best of our country. I do want to thank local people that came to this event, Teresa, Willie, John, Stacy, and Catherine, to point out the fact that all of us are learning something from just being part of the event. I've learned a lot about this group. And it takes a lot to keep a group together for 250 years. And so that's a lot of spirit amongst those of you who are part of this process and the outreach work that you do in supporting the American dream. And we appreciate being part of it out here in a small town in Midland County. And we appreciate and are honored for you to put this commemorative marker here and to invite us all to be part of today's program. So once again, thank you for inviting us, and thank you for picking Sanford to put this commemorative marker. Thank you.
Thank you, Dolores, for your support. Now I am honored to introduce a woman whose dedication to service, remembrance, and community is truly inspiring. Kim Burgess was a driving force behind the rebuilding and expansion of the Veterans Memorial following the 2020 flood, ensuring that the bravery and sacrifices of those who serve are never forgotten. The expansion included the addition of a memorial for first responders. Kim and her husband John founded the Ryan Burgess Memorial Foundation. The foundation is a legacy of love and sacrifice, honoring his son, Marine Lance Corporal Ryan Burgess, who made the ultimate sacrifice in Iraq in 2006. With Kim's support, we were able to place the Revolutionary War Patriots marker here at Porty Park, close to the Veterans Memorial. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Kim Burgess.
I'm going to read this. Well, welcome to the Sanford Memorial.
Sanford Veterans Memorial. Again, I'm Kim Burgess, and my husband and I built the original monument in 2016. On top. Okay. In 2016. And unfortunately, that monument was devastated by the dam failures. And I always like to clarify that was dam failures, not flood. I mean, we had flooding as a result of dam failures. Our son Ryan was killed in December of 2006. He was killed in action as a United States Marine serving in Iraq. He was a Lance Corporal. He was on a second rotation. He was killed on the Syrian border when his Humvee ran over an IED. He was 21 years old. There were 3 Marines, 1 corpsman, and an Iraqi interpreter. They were killed with him. The news devastated us. Our lives changed forever. Our hopes, our dreams, our goals, our memories, for us and for him, changed at that moment, and the grief overtook us. We struggled to find a path forward. As we processed our grief, we knew we wanted and needed to do something that would make a difference. Something that would demonstrate our love for Ryan and our commitment to never forget him, but also something that would honor all veterans in our community. We needed to channel our grief into a positive project. And most families of fallen build monuments and tributes to their sons and daughters only, but we knew to reflect Ryan's character and to reflect our commitment to our community, we wanted to do something for all of our veterans in our community and for Sanford and our surrounding communities. It was important for us that we build something that reflected all veterans and supporting organizations for veterans, recognizing the commitments and contributions they made for our country. We wanted something not just for Ryan, but for every veteran who served our country. We looked around the Sanford area, Ryan's hometown, and didn't find a dedicated place that honored all veterans. We knew we found our home. We chose this location. We hired architects, drew up plans, brought in on engineers and contractors, along with many volunteers and many donations. We dedicated the first monument in 2016. We poured our hearts and souls into completing and dedicating that monument to our veterans in our community. We, along with so many other community members, were devastated when our dams failed and we lost our homes, our businesses, our livelihoods, our stability, our sports programs, our security, our happy places, and our monument, and so much more. To be honest, I didn't have it in me to rebuild another monument, but at that point, it was our community that rallied behind us and convinced us that we needed to rebuild. They knew what a difference it made in our community and what it meant to our veterans. They convinced us that we needed to rebuild again. They helped us with the cleanup, the fundraising, and they all volunteered. As you can see, we did rebuild. We doubled in size and we added many features. If you look over at the other monument, we knew we had to do something to honor our first responders. I don't know if you know the story here, but we did not lose a single loss of life in this community. And that is astronomical if you think about the devastation we had. Our first responders were amazing. I knew we had to honor them. If you look at the poles that are over there, they are the poles that were from the original monument. We found those in piles of debris along the riverbanks. One of them was found clear down by the banks of Northwood University. I knew I needed to reuse those poles. As I sat on a pile of debris one night crying, I looked at those poles and I said, you know, I'm going to build a first responders monument with those poles. And I can tell you my husband thought I was crazy. They were bent, they were scraped, they were shortened, they were a mess. And he said, Kim, it'll be too expensive to fix those poles. Let's just buy new ones. And I said, nope. They tell a story. Every scrape, every scratch, every bend, every imperfection tells the story of our journey. We're going to use those poles. And we did. So if you look at those poles, look at the scratches, you can sense our journey. That monument tells a story. It shows the story that we were able to come back and survive. We've been very careful to protect the integrity of this monument. We've had a lot of people requesting to place benches, wooden crosses, memorials they've built in their garages or in their backyards, and all those are very important to people, and I understand that. But we wanted to protect the integrity of this monument and grow it with the importance to our veterans. It's always been our intention to expand this monument and include organizations to support our veterans. When the DARE organization approached us, we were very impressed and excited with the plaque and the planning and their enthusiasm to work together with us and be the first group to build on our expansion. We are excited. We are honored to recognize and include the Daughters of the American Revolution. It is important to us and their members that their members are recognized and our community never forgets the role they played throughout the history and continue to play for our veterans. Thank you for choosing our site and to share your plaque with us. We are honored. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Burgess, for your support through all this. She heard me. I am honored to introduce a distinguished leader dedicated to commemorating one of the most significant milestones in our nation's history, the 250th anniversary of America's founding. Kelly Van Wormer serves on the Michigan America 250 Commission, a vital initiative ensuring that the legacy of the American Revolution is honored and preserved for future generations. Through her work, she helps bring awareness to the courage, sacrifices, and enduring spirit of the patriots who fought for our nation's independence. Her dedication to historic preservation, education, and civic engagement makes her a true champion for our shared heritage. We are grateful for her commitment to making this anniversary meaningful for all Americans. Please join me in welcoming Kelly Van Wormer.
Now is the time to celebrate America 250. We are on the eve of the semi-quincentennial of this great nation, which is the upcoming anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Celebrating 250 years of this anniversary on July 4th in 2026 brings further opportunities for each of you. How will you celebrate? The state of Michigan established the America 250 Michigan Committee in 2020 to encourage, establish, advance, and foster the commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States, the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and the impact of the American Revolution on Michigan's history. It is my honor to serve on this committee and promote the recognition of this anniversary, including local events. Each patriot of the American Revolution has a personal story, a story of bravery, sacrifice, and service. They shared a common commitment to something greater than themselves. They stood up to create an independent nation, believing in the rights and freedoms that belong to them, and knowing the risks as well as responsibilities that may lay ahead. Today, the John Alden chapter has recognized the service of those men and women who served our fledgling nation with the dedication of this new America 250 Patriot marker right here in the park in Sanford. Along with the tragic loss of homes and businesses during the dam failures in 2020, the Veterans Monument was gone. With the new Sanford Memorial Flagpole Monument established, it seemed fitting to add another tribute to veterans, those veterans of the American Revolutionary War. Appreciation is given to the John Alden DAR chapter for their support of the Sanford community, who has displayed the same determination and commitment to stand proud regardless of the circumstances that they have faced. Those individuals who have created the narrative of resiliency demonstrate the same perseverance as those who developed our country. And one of the goals of the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution's America 250 Committee is to publicize and make known the stories of those Revolutionary War patriot ancestors. The marker we dedicate today honors these men and women who helped found our nation, but it is the individual stories of each patriot that bring them to life and help us visualize them as real people and understand the struggles and sacrifices that they made. The Daughters of the American Revolution of Michigan have found nearly 250 Revolutionary War patriots that are buried here in Michigan. Since 1900, the DAR of Michigan and the local chapters have attempted to locate and honor all of those graves. These patriots immigrated as pioneers to this wild territory that we know as Michigan, and can you imagine the experiences that they had? Abiel Fellows Jr. was living in Litchfield County, Connecticut at the time of the Revolution and enlisted in 1781 at the age of 17 in the state's troops, and he served as a private for 1 year, then enlisted again for 9 months in a New York regiment. His first wife died in Connecticut. His second wife died in Pennsylvania. He had 3 young children when his second wife died, so what did he do? He quickly remarried for the third time, right? Abiel and his third wife, Dorcas, moved in 1829 to the Kalamazoo area, most likely to be where their children had moved. 2 of Abiel's daughters joined the DAR, Lucy, who joined a chapter in Iowa, and Sarah, who joined the Lansing chapter here in Michigan. Abiel died in 1833 and is buried on the Fellows family burial ground farm in Schoolcraft, Michigan. The Abiel Fellows chapter of the DAR is in Three Rivers in St. Joseph County. Now, Ezra Parker was living in Berkshire County, Massachusetts when the Revolutionary War started, and he participated in the conflict of Lexington and in the Battle of Bunker Hill. Later in the war, he served as a sergeant under his cousin, Captain Enos Parker, and fought in the battles of Bennington, Bemis Heights, and Saratoga. His first wife died young and left him with a second daughter. With a young daughter. He soon remarried and had 10 more children with his second wife. The family moved to Oneida County, New York, and then in 1835, Ezra moved with his son William to Royal Oak, Michigan, and settled in that area that is now Woodward Avenue and 13 Mile Road. Ezra died in 1842 and is buried in the Royal Oak Cemetery. In 1927, the new DAR chapter in Royal Oak was named in this patriot's honor. So I'd like to tell you today about one additional Revolutionary War patriot and his family. As a genealogist, I'm always intrigued by the search of those personal stories that create history, and I was excited to conduct this research recently. Matthias Button was born in Westerly, Kings County, Rhode Island in April 1732. Matthias married Elizabeth Butts on July 10, 1764 in Canterbury, Connecticut. Canterbury was where their children were born, including their son, Asa Button. At the time of the American Revolution, Matthias and his family resided in Rutland County, Vermont. And it's a county which I've researched due to my own ancestors living there in 1700s. In 1781, Matthias was a captain in the Vermont militia under Colonel John Abbott. In records of the state of Vermont, details provide the payroll of his company and who had served for several days in August 1781. Now, these 30 men served in this company, with the group being paid 19 pounds, 17 shillings, and 7 pence for their service. Now, after the Revolutionary War, in July 1811, Matthias Button died in Wells, Rutland County, Vermont. So why is Matthias Button important for me to share with you today? Matthias and Elizabeth Button's son Asa married Pamela Patton, and Asa and Pamela lived in Connecticut during their lifetimes. But families grow, generations relocate. They travel to territories and states like New York, Ohio, and even Michigan. So would it surprise you then to learn that the great-granddaughter of Revolutionary War soldier Captain Matthias Button herself would journey to Michigan? And then she would reside in what we know is Midland County. And Eliza Button, the great-granddaughter of Captain Matthias Button, did just that. After marrying on April 26, 1840 in New York, Eliza Button moved to Ohio with her husband, who at that time was a shoemaker by trade. And in 1863, this couple traveled here to Midland County. They lived in New Rome Township. And the very next year, they purchased 1,000 acres of pine land in the county, including the 213 acres where Sanford is located. This tract, known as the Salt Spring Reserve, was known as the first salt well in Michigan. So now you may have guessed where this story is leading. Miss Eliza Button, the great-granddaughter of Revolutionary War soldier Captain Matthias Button, married Mr. Charles Wesley Sanford. The town of Sanford, of course, was named in honor of Charles Sanford. Eliza Button Sanford passed away in April 1887 in Jerome after being married to Charles Sanford for 37 years. And so the Sanford community has a direct link to at least one Revolutionary War patriot, Captain Matthias Button of Vermont. So now these are just some of the stories of families and Revolutionary War patriots who fought for our country's independence, allowing us the freedoms that we enjoy today. I encourage you to seek out the story of the lives of your own ancestors, of your patriots, your veterans, and of the nearly 250 American Revolutionary War patriots buried in Michigan. Promote these stories to your families and to your communities as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the founding of our nation. Now, in December of 2023, we celebrated the 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party, and we certainly have plenty of celebrating to do until the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Treaty of Paris in 2033. It is a time to honor all patriots who have fought for the American independence with recognition of so many 250th anniversary events, other tea parties, the shot heard around the world in Concord and Lexington, the founding of various military branches, and the list goes on. To provide honor to those who supported this noble cause, so we can stand here today, is not only a privilege, but I would suggest a duty. We must honor our Revolutionary War patriots with our thoughtfulness and our intention about our own community. The duty of citizenship, of being good citizens, is the action one must take to be a patriot. So some of you may be able to remember back to 1976 when we celebrated the bicentennial, and there wasn't a patriotic spirit, an American spirit across our nation. I personally remember going to view the Freedom Train, which traveled across the nation, and I saw artifacts about the history of the United States. My memories of that time include my mother sewing colonial outfits for me, my father, and for herself. Together, the three of us stood in front of the replica of Independence Hall at the Henry Ford Museum on the 4th of July in 1976. It is interesting to consider that on that day, the three of us did not know that each one of us was descended from American Revolutionary War patriots. Celebrating the bicentennial made an enormous impact on me and my family. We felt it was important to show our patriotic spirit and to show our belief in our nation. So how will you show your patriotic spirit during the semi-quincentennial? As a member of the America 250 Michigan Committee and as a member of the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution, I am hopeful for the opportunity to renew that patriotic American spirit right here in Michigan. The committee is available to support many organizations in the celebration with resources on the website, including a program guide, educational resources, as well as grant opportunities for organizations. The Daughters of the American Revolution have the mission to promote historic preservation, education, and patriotism. I would suggest we have a responsibility to acknowledge those sacrifices made by our ancestors and to celebrate the rich history of the revolutionary times when patriots fought for this great nation. I encourage you to learn about your own family history and to plan how you will celebrate America 250. God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
So this is off script. I had no idea Kelly was going to talk about, bring up Button. We recently had our 100th anniversary for our DAR chapter in 2022. Our chapter was founded in 1922. And one of the organizing members or charter members, I don't remember which, was Josephine Button. So this was a very interesting story. So thank you very much, Kelly. As we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States, we reflect on the courage and perseverance of our Revolutionary War patriots. Their vision for a free and independent nation was not easy, but they pressed forward with determination, risking everything for their freedoms that we enjoy today. This marker stands as a lasting tribute to their bravery, a symbol of our enduring gratitude, and a reminder that liberty is never free. It is won through sacrifice and safeguarded by those who cherish. We extend our appreciation to everyone who has made this dedication possible, to our honored guests, local leaders, community members, and fellow daughters of the American Revolution. Your presence here today is a testament to the enduring importance of remembering our nation's history. Our marker is located just off the Pierre Marquette Rail Trail and is easily accessible. Please remove the cover and display the Revolutionary War Patriot marker. At this time, I will read the inscription on this marker. Revolutionary War Patriots. This marker commemorates the men and women who achieved American independence. These patriots, each believing in the noble cause of liberty, valiantly strove to found a new nation, 1775 to 1783. Dedicated in 2025 by John Alden Chapter Daughters of the American Revolution in celebration of the 250th anniversary of the United States. With great honor and reverence, we dedicate this Revolutionary War Patriots marker to those who strove for our nation's founding. May it serve as a permanent tribute to their sacrifice and a source of inspiration for future generations to cherish and uphold the freedoms they secured. May we never forget the legacy of these brave patriots, and may we continue to honor their memory through the commitment to preserving history, educating others, and promoting patriotism in our communities. I want to again introduce Gretchen Shope, who will now sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you for being a part of the special dedication ceremony. We invite you to take a moment to visit the marker, reflect on its significance, and honor the patriots it commemorates. As we continue our celebration, please join us for refreshments. We appreciate your presence and support in preserving the legacy of our nation's founding. Nancy Proskow, our chaplain, will now lead us in benediction.
Heavenly Father, we ask that you keep us ever mindful of the sacrifice of our Revolutionary War patriots and their dedication to the cause of freedom and justice. Continue to bless our nation and inspire its leaders. Please see us all safely on our way today and grant us the grace and courage to continue in the fight for freedom our ancestors began. Amen.
Thank you. So that concludes our ceremony. We do have refreshments, cookies, birthday cake, which I love, and lemonade and water. There are markers over there. I really do invite you guys to stop by. Also, you may have noticed we've got sparklies on a trellis. If you're not aware of it, those are retired grommets from retired American flags. Those are actually a gift if someone wants to if you want to take one home. We would appreciate that. Help you remember our ceremony today. Thank you very much.